Hey, 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 Coach A back again with another B4P Talks. I got a moment here with y'all, okay? That was just extra and dramatic. So, first of all, let me say that this is my opinion, and what you do for your household may not be the same thing that I do for my household or whatever. This is just a story. I'm going to tell the story how I want to tell the story. You guys can interpret how you want to interpret, but I want you to leave a comment so we can talk, right? So this is what we do. We just gonna have a conversation, and we gonna laugh, learn, leap, and we just gonna have fun. So y'all go ahead and hit the subscribe button below so we can get this into circulation. Let's begin. So you guys, listen, I'm gonna tell you the story, so you gotta stick with me to the end. Stick with me, hear the story out, and stick with me, okay? And we gonna talk about ain't no right and wrong, okay? Ain't no right and wrong, all right? So ain't no right or wrong for your household. All right, so story of the day. So a lady walks in on our spouse. Well, I don't want to, let me not say walk in. So a lady gets up in the middle of the day. She comes out in the living room and she notices a reaction from her spouse. She notices what's on the screen. And I'll tell you, you guys stick to the story and you'll hear the rest of it. You'll hear what she actually sees on the screen, okay? So she notices something on the screen, but she kind of brushes it off and walks over. So, because, stuff can be left up for assumption. But she walks off and she walks over there to him and she gives him a hug. And he hugs her back and she notices he switched the screen to IG. And she asks, well, how you doing? How's it going? She was asleep. So she asks, how you doing, babe? And hug him and kiss him. And then she's like, I'm going to join you. So she pulls the cover back and she notices that I don't know if I can get banned for saying it, but she knows that the head is showing, right? And so she looks at him and say, well, what you doing? Why? And he says, you were asleep. And she's like, oh, okay, well, continue on. And he like, well, you want to join me? And she says no, right? Why she says no, right? And so she says no and walk off. And he follows behind her and he like, why? And she says to him, we've dealt with this before. We've dealt with this before. And I don't like you watching porn without me. And he says, but why? You were asleep. I didn't want to bother you while you were asleep. And I said, okay. Well, I didn't want to bother you while you were asleep. And she says to him, so you lack that much discipline that you couldn't wait a few hours while I was asleep, knowing that if you came to me, I'm ready at any time. And he said, again, I didn't want to bother you. You were asleep. And she says, but I thought we had this discussion before. Okay. So my question is now to her, why didn't you join him? And her response was, because when I originally stepped out, I saw what he was looking at. I saw that he was looking at the pornography. I saw that. But when I walked over, I noticed that he switched the screen, which was one behavior of deception, which turned me off. And I continued forward. I said, but why continue forward when you already knew what time? Why not just back into the room when you saw what he was doing? She said, because we've had this discussion before where he was watching porn and I didn't understand. I never had, she said, I never watched porn before. And if he would have introduced me to it, it was something that we could have done. Now we've watched it before, together, but it's not really my thing. But because we can do it together, I'm okay with that. And I said, all right. And I said, but what about when he said, let's join? She said, it was because when I walked over, he said scrolling IG like that is what he was doing. I said, so why pull the cover back? She said, because I needed to confirm. I said, but why you need to confirm? Was that not going to hurt? She said, it didn't bother me. What bothered me was the deceptive behavior. And what bothered me was the fact that I said, so you lack that much discipline where you couldn't wait a few hours for me to get up, that you had to scroll to pornography because you got horny. I understood that, but his was, but you was asleep. I understand that too. Maybe he didn't want to bother her while she was asleep. He trying to let her get some rest, right? That's understandable too. But here we go. Okay, so what are y'all thoughts, right? Because I need to do a part 2 on my thoughts. Because that right there, that shit crazy. I guess, and I asked Probe a little bit further, and I said, so what did you feel? She said she felt a sense of rejection. Well, why did you feel rejected? It was because she felt he preferred these 5 fingers. He preferred to play with his hand than play with the actual toy. Then play with the vagina that was there. And she said any other time he would slide in. He can slide in and just hold her. And that would have probably initiated something too. But that's not what happened. I said, so what do you think? What are your thoughts? What are you thinking? What do you think happened? She said what she believes happened is he was scrolling Instagram and whatever social media, Instagram, TikTok, whatever, and he saw what he liked, and he got horny enough where he needed to go find something to jack off. That's deep, right? What? So he found something enough where got horny enough that he needs to jack off, and horny enough to the point where you don't lack let me get it right. Enough where you have lacked discipline and decided to go jerk off and to go play. And I said, well, what else did he say? He said, well, maybe I didn't want to be bothered with you. Maybe I just wanted to do something quick. Okay. So after she feels rejected, he puts that on her too. And I said, but you went a little further. You asked questions that that was his truth, right? However, what y'all think? Remember, ain't no right or wrong. Ain't no right or wrong in this right here. So, because every person's household is different. But I'm going to do a part 2 and tell you what my opinion is. And again, it's going to be my opinion because I'm the storyteller here. Right? And if you want to tell your story, I can easily, I can bring you on. You can tell your story. Maybe this is something you have struggled with before. Let's talk about it. Because this may be a struggle. Maybe he got a porn addiction. And maybe she lacks insecurity. Or maybe she got a valid point. I don't know. But I want to talk about it. I surely do. Because this is juicy. But anyway, y'all, we're going to come back. I want y'all to leave a comment down. Follow and subscribe. Y'all go ahead and get this in the rotation. We're going to have another moment. We're going to have more moments with Coach A here on B4P Talks. Again, I thank each of you, all of my subscribers so far. I really, really appreciate each of you because I'm not consistent at all. So I really, really appreciate you guys following and sharing and really, really engaging with me. So thank you for the engagement. And again, we at the end. What y'all think? Porn, hand, or pan? I'm going to call it the pan. The vajayjay, I'm going to call it the pan. So we're going to say hand or pan. Anyway, holla at your girl. Bye. See you next time.